It's Triple Crown here once again for a card show vlog. Back to the Eastgate Mall here for the April 2025 rendition of the show. There is once again a record number of tables, meaning that there is even less time to see everything. And I'm going to have to get on my horse and move pretty quickly today if I want to make it through the entire show. Spoiler, I do not. I do not make it through the entire show. A lot of dealers had already packed up by the time I made it to the opposite side of the mall. But that's alright, there was still plenty to look at, plenty to move through, and that is exactly what I'm going to show you here today. Let's go ahead and get into the action.
Would you do 60 on this Amari Cooper? Alright, cool.
I can do that.
Thank you.
Promise.
My first purchase of the day is this Amari Cooper Gold Dragon Scale, numbered to 10. It's also a PSA 10 to boot. And when I'm looking for cards, I want to make sure that I have multiple outs, if you will, when I'm going to sell them. Immediately when I see this, I think of an Amari Cooper collector who I have contact with that I can reach out to as soon as I bring this card home, see if they need it for their collection. If they do, great, we'll probably work something out. If not, that's fine. I have shows coming up in areas where there's going to be some Browns fans. Yeah, he's not with the Browns anymore, but it is a Browns card. And I have a feeling that maybe at one of those shows, a Browns fan would come along and see that card and want it. If not, it's still a gold. I love me some gold. And it's a 10. People love their 10s. They love the dragon scales. It's something that will at least catch attention in my showcase down the line. Really, it has multiple outs, and because of that reason, it jumps out to me. And at $60, that's a price I'm more than willing to pay.
You know, I know we're in Cincinnati, so. How you doing, sir?
The next table I go to has some really good stuff for whatnot. And while I'm looking through this stuff, what I'm also doing is examining the showcases, trying to find something I can bundle together. If you recall my previous last couple vlogs, at least, where I've talked about buying stuff for whatnot, I want to make sure that I am buying some showcase cards with it whenever possible. That way I can use the showcase cards to essentially pay for the cards that I'm going to run on stream, and therefore I have really no cost into them. At the same time, though, I'm not going to force myself into buying showcase cards. It's okay if I buy something, take a risk, and maybe take a small loss on it, because overall, in the name of the game being volume, I'm not losing nearly as often as I'm winning. So here I see this Joey Votto autograph, one that, hey, a Votto autograph in Cincinnati, that's pretty much as good as gold. I'm going to see if I can add anything else with it, but if I can't, I'm not going to force myself into buying it.
What you thinking, JT?
I'll give that back to you.
Okay. I mean, if you got a number in mind, I'm not going to say no. Or I might say no, but I'm not going to be offended. So.
I wouldn't make you an offer that I wouldn't want made to myself. So I'm going to pass on it. But it's 25 work on those two?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, Travis? I like that line.
I mean, it's...
Perhaps this is a flaw of mine or something that I can rework because I feel like it is something that I could do better at, but I do not like to make offers that I wouldn't want made to me. On that Votto autograph, what would be my goal with it? Pretty much the same thing that this dealer is trying to do. I want to put it out at 50, probably take 40, 45 for it, and my goal here would be to acquire it at a lesser cost. But really, we're trying to do the same thing here, and I'm going to keep that in mind and be considerate about it. I know that he probably bought that card around the same price that I'm thinking about buying it to sell at one of these local shows and probably get a little bit of a premium because we are in Cincinnati. And a Votto autograph, there's always people looking for them. Sure enough, he told me that later on in the show, he sold that card for $45. So I'm not going to make that offer to him because I probably wouldn't want that offer made to me if I was the one who was set up, and because of that, you know, I'm going to pick and choose my battles. In this case, it's better to just leave that card where it is.
Let me know.
Will do. What are you asking on your Lawrence Taylor red and black checker?
400K.
15? Okay. How about your Emmett?
The Emmett, I can't find any comps. It's out of 10. There was the pink one, which is in the other boxes. Out of 10, sold for 165. So I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because every once in a while he'll come
100.
up there and aggravate
Okay.
people.
I mean, if you're really interested, I mean, you know, I would do 100 for it. I mean, I would probably want more, but like I said, it's one of those that's kind of.
Nothing but Buckeye stuff.
The pink one out of 10 sold for 165, and that's the green one. I forget which ones. Pink is in one box and green was in the other.
Yeah,
I mean, I just get the hot sticks and put it there.
Oh yeah, green's out of the Walmart, pink's fluorescent are out of the Target. So one out of the pink sold for 165. So I couldn't find any comps on the green.
A couple of things to point out here. This is an Emmitt Smith Touchdown Masters green fluorescent, numbered out of 10. The pink fluorescent that he is referring to is also numbered to 10. I really do love the fluorescent cards out of Mosaic, and as you heard him say, he couldn't find any sales on that card, which doesn't surprise me. It's a card that's a couple years old and it's numbered to only 10, so the number of sales out there is going to be very limited, if any. What I usually do is when I see something like this, think in my head, what is my gut telling me? And right away when he gave me the number and he said 100, I thought, I don't think that's completely unreasonable, but that's probably more than what I'm willing to pay. Now on something low numbered like this, especially of a popular player like Emmitt Smith, you never know when someone is going to really need that card for a rainbow perhaps, or there's just a really die-hard collector of that player, and the more popular the player, the more likely that is to be. But for me, I'm not that guy. I respect Emmitt Smith, but I'm not the one who's chasing the rainbow or building a collection of his. At $100, I don't see enough upside for me to want to pursue it. Also, what I would do in this situation if I was going to look it up, which I didn't in this case, is see what some of the other green fluorescents had sold for. That would be kind of top of the market at $100, so it probably wouldn't make a ton of sense for me to pick it up here. But I'll ask about a few other things that he has and see if maybe we can work something out.
How about your neighbor's booklet?
The neighbors is 350.
Okay.
It's the first on card. It's at 25 and it is one.
Did you pull it yourself?
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's the only I broke down and bought a box, and that was the big auto out of it. The other auto was Jonathan Brooks. Unfortunately, it was Jonathan Brooks. And out of that same box, I got a neighbor's numbered card too.
Okay.
Those were the two best cards out of it. It was the neighbor's numbered and then that booklet.
That's better than most people.
Yeah. So I guess I think about broke even for what I paid for the box. Depending on, the value of that is. There's not much out there, but it's got to be worth something. It's one out of 25. It is number one. It's a sweet card.
Yeah, it is.
Again, this is where this little inner conflict that I've been having recently comes into play again. I would like this neighbor's booklet card, but I am too far off to even feel comfortable negotiating because I feel like a lot of people don't take it too well. When you kind of show them, hey, this is what it's been selling for, I'd offer you this for it. I'm more comfortable doing that certainly when I'm behind the table and people come up to looking to sell to me. But when you're walking the show floor, I feel it can be a different dynamic at times. And that's kind of how I'm feeling here. I'll show you what the sales are right now of the Neighbors booklet card. Keep in mind that this show happened on April 19th, so anything I'm showing you from after that wouldn't be a factor in this case. But yeah, we're too far off, and I could press the issue, or I could just say, okay, thank you, and then walk away. And I opt for the latter, but let me know what you would do in the comments down below, because I'm interested to see if others have a different approach.
Like this.
Thank you for your time and good luck.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Like, have any confidence in that value? He said the sales were bad, though. I didn't see sales. I didn't see any sales. Mostly card ladder. Maybe you can find it on eBay.
Are you guys together or are you separate?
That's all mine.
Okay.
He just tried to cheat himself out of this card and a Kobe refractor. He said, we were at 2,900. He said,
as a buyer, tables like this is why I love coming to card shows. The card that is catching my eye, if you followed the channel, probably is pretty obvious to you, but if not, it's that Griffey Red Refractor that's staring me in the face. That bright red, nice color match with the Cincinnati Reds being the team he's pictured with there on the 2006 Topps Chrome. that is a set that I am very partial to, considering 2006 is really the first year that I was into baseball cards. When I was younger, I was more into hockey, if you would believe it or not. But that 2006 set always carries fond memories. Also, my Tigers went to the World Series that year, so I have some associations with that as well. That Griffey, number to 90, you just don't see him pop up. I really want to own this, and I'm hoping that he is at a reasonable price point on it, because if he is, there is no way that I'm leaving this show without that card.
What's he have on the Griffey Red Refractor?
I'm upside down on that. Somebody comped it earlier, and I was asking like 5 for it. It sold in PSA 9s for like $220, so I think I'm just going to crack that. Yeah, that's one of the weird ones. I'm like in a weird spot on that. I overpaid. I did buy it raw. Got it graded 8. I thought it had a shot at being a 10. I did not see anything wrong with it. But
yeah,
the centering's not perfect, but still. The comp the guy showed me earlier, I mean, I would buy that all day long for $200 in mine, just because it's a color match.
Yeah.
And I like Griffey.
That answer to what is your price on this does not inspire a lot of confidence in me. Let me tell you that whenever someone starts off their answer with, well, I'm upside down on this, I don't think I have ever walked away with that card at the end of the negotiation. But I'm willing to make an exception here for this Griffey, and I'm going to press the issue. That's been the theme of today's episode, is do you press the issue and try to negotiate more, or do you just simply walk away? He didn't seem like he gave me a clear-cut answer based on when he said he wanted 5, but someone told him that was too high. I want to find out what he really wants for it. I'm going to ask again. But part of that is also because I don't see the sale that he is talking about that someone showed him. Now, maybe I'm missing something here. This is what I saw on the card. Really, I think that, you know, at a certain price point, maybe like 300-ish, that's pretty realistic for this thing. And I'd definitely be willing to pay that for this card. Even if it means I have to overpay a little bit, I really love this card. It's a Griffey Reds color match. I gotta have it. And for that reason, we'll see what he can do.
A lot of the stuff I have in here I can make you a deal on, but that one's, I'm just so upside down on it.
There's not a number that you would call it for that?
I mean, if I told you I'd take $300 for it, I mean, I'm losing, but you shouldn't buy it for $300. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could understand that.
I don't come here to try to rip people off.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
This dealer is a really cool dude. We talked for quite a bit during the show. A lot of it I had to edit out just for the sake of time, but we have very similar tastes in cards. We talked about cards for quite a while. This was an awesome experience. But I have to say, this might be the first time I've ever had this happen where I asked him what his number is, but he told me I shouldn't pay that price for the card. I shouldn't pay $300 for it, which, I mean, I don't feel like he's ripping me off at $300. I think that is a very reasonable price for the card. And there is the old adage of a card is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. I'm willing to pay that for it. And if I'm willing to pay that for it, then I'm not really getting ripped off, am I? I know exactly what I'm buying. I am perfectly comfortable paying that price. So I appreciate his concern. I appreciate him wanting to do right by his customers. But hey, in my opinion here, I'm willing to pay that price. I fully know what I'm getting myself into. And I want this card. But he did say that he can cut me a deal on some other things in this case. And when I hear that, my ears perk up a little bit, because now I'm going to start looking around. He has a ton of triple thread stuff, ton of autographs from the era that I really like. Like I said, him and I have very similar tastes. So me finding something else that I like should not be a problem at all. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to examine his table, try to find a couple things that maybe I can bundle together where he'll feel more comfortable letting go of that Griffey at that number that I wanted at, which is exactly what he said, $300.
Did you pick anything up today?
Mostly small things.
Yeah. Cool.
So when I saw that, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that might be the one.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find, but it's, you know, it's one of those oddities. I like refractors.
I do too, especially the old ones. How much is the Harper they have up there, that triple threads?
Let's check there. I can do better than that. I'm not sure that I have a comp on that.
Okay. And then do you have price? Sorry. Do you have prices like on the backs of most of those over there?
A lot of them, and there's a handful that I don't.
Okay. I'll take a look and see.
Yeah. So that's 75, and 75 is 150. I'll do that, yeah. I thought you were trying to throw that one in there. So. Sure.
I think Topps Chrome is their value. Oh, Maddox did?
Yeah, his autos sold faster than, I mean, I had probably 10 Maddox autos, and I haven't sold a Smokes, not one. And I've sold 10 of his autos. They just, 15 years ago, they were just better. And I can tell you, I couldn't afford them, but just when you know, they just had so much. I mean, it's, you know, you look at some of these patches. I mean, they're just, I mean, it's just like a cool car. You know, that's awesome. That's awesome. Those are cool. That's, you know, how awesome would it be to have a Tom Brady Topps Chrome patch auto? You know,
you're gonna get it pretty soon. How much is the Harper?
500.
So you were at 5 here, 3 here.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk you into 200 on that one, would you?
I mean, in fairness, that's what I should do, but I don't care. I pay $400 for that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I just for me to ask you to pay more than card worth, I mean,
well, you just don't see them. So I mean, like at 200, like I would love to have it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be 3. I don't want to be at 3, but I don't want to lose that much. Maybe I'll send it to BGS and try to get a 9.5. And they're, you know how they are. That's awesome. You know, I could dig a deeper hole too.
Yeah, that's fair. If I took all 3, would we do 700?
If you do all 3, I can do 750. You do have some upside on the hardware, man.
I tossed out that 200 number to see how willing he really was to move down on the Griffey to possibly 300. I thought maybe he might come back at 250 on it, but he was going to hold his ground at 3. He told me that he thought that it might be an overpay if I paid 300, but really, again, it goes back to I want the card and I am willing to pay that for it. But I decided that it was probably best for both parties to try to bundle some things together. I have been holding this Maddox for the last 10 minutes or so. I definitely want this one. And then to kind of sweeten the deal, I add in a Bryce Harper RPA from 2012 Topps Finest. This is the orange, numbered to 99. I shoot my shot, put out the offer at 700. He comes back at 750, and we shake hands on that and get the deal done. I'm very pleased with this. Like I said, on that Griffey, did I overpay? Maybe I did. But I don't really care because I really like that card. If I have to hold on to it till the end of the time, I gladly will. I say that a lot in these vlogs, and truth be told, I don't usually end up holding on to those cards all that long. Usually they go right away because someone else thinks the same way that I do, and they want those cards. To boot, I didn't know this at the time, but the Griffey is actually 89 of 90, so it's kind of like a rookie year eBay 1 of 1, if you will, being the number 89. I don't know, I think that's just kind of a cool little layer. You won't be seeing me market it as, oh, it's an eBay 1 of 1 or anything, but I just think it's kind of a neat little Easter egg with that card. But these 3 cards were definitely the highlight of this show. I picked up some good quality lower end stuff along the way, a lot of things that will be on Whatnot auctions. These were kind of the centerpiece of this particular trip to the Eastgate Mall. And I think that is also a great place to wrap it up. So thank you so much for watching today's vlog. Again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll be sure to see you next time. Until then, take care, stay safe, be kind.